Today is a very special and auspicious day for us because we are much blessed to have the resource person of today's session, His Grace Radheshyam Das ji. I heartily welcome you, sir, to this induction program of today's session. I also welcome Hare Krishna Prabhuji, a dental doctor at Care Hospitals. I welcome Taruna Mohan Prabhuji, who worked at Oracle Atlanta at the USA. I also welcome Nagaraj Das Prabhuji and Purna Brahma Das ji. I heartily welcome all of you from the ISKCON family, sir. I welcome our respected principal, sir, Dr. Ramakant Mohanty ji, our beloved HOD, Dr. Jyoti Shinde madam, my dear colleagues, and my lovely students. I heartily welcome all of you to this wonderful occasion on behalf of Swami Vivekananda Institute of Technology. Now I request our HOD madam, Dr. Jyoti Shinde ji, to come on to the stage and occupy her seat, please. Now I request our respected principal, sir, Dr. Ramakant Mohanty ji, to come on to the stage. I humbly request Radheshyam Das ji to come on to the stage and occupy his seat. I request our principal, sir, to give a bouquet, a token of gratitude to Prabhuji. Before I formally introduce the renowned speaker of our today's session, I would like to start this auspicious occasion with a sloka. Achyutam Keshavam Ramanarayanam Krishna Damodaram Vasudevam Harim Sridharam Madhavam Gopika Vallabham Janaki Dayakam Ramachandram Bhaje Achyutam Keshavam Satyabhamamadhavam Madhavam Sridharam Radhika Radhitam Indira Mandiram Chetasa Sundaram Devaki Nandanam Nandajam Sandade Vishnave Jishnave Shankhine Chakrine Rukmini Ragine Janaki Janaye Vallavi Vallabhaya Architaya Atmane Kamsavitwamsine Vamshine Te Namaha. Today, it's a great privilege for me to introduce His Grace Radheshyam Das Prabhuji to this occasion. Sri Radheshyam ji is an MTech from IIT Mumbai, and Prabhuji is a gold medalist there. He is a topper turned spiritual guru. He is the president of ISKCON Pune for the last 20 years, leading a community of 6,000 members. He is one of the presidents, ISKCON Hyderabad. Guruji is a youth trainer for the last 25 years in all the leading IITs, NITs, top engineering colleges in India and abroad. He presented various seminars overseas at Stanford University, University of Washington, Cornell University, etc. Prabhuji also presented corporate seminars at the Bank of America, Infosys, Cognizant Technologies, Persistent Systems, etc. Currently, he is a visitor to Boston to help in reaching out to youth in Northwest University, Boston University, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, and Harvard University. Guruji is the winner of Global Excellence Award for educating the youth in the Bhagavad Gita. He is also the designer of Discover Yourself program for the all-round development of the young generations. He is also the compiler of youth books like Stress Management, Essence of the Bhagavad Gita course. Now, let's hear from His Grace Radheshyam Das Prabhuji on how to blossom your beautiful personality by rekindling wisdom and reviving love. Let's welcome him with a huge round of applause.
Hare Krishna. So, those of you in the last row can hear me clearly? Raise your hand. You're clear? Okay, thank you. Om Ajnanathmirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuhunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutastulmanti Divyaistavai Vedai Sangapadakramopanishadair Gayanti Yam Samagaha Dhyana Vastita Tadgatena Manasa Pashyanti Yam Yogino Yasyantam Navidussura Suraganaha Devaya Tasmai Namo. I am very happy to be here today at SVIT, and I wish to thank all these prominent leaders of SVIT, Secretary of SVIT Shri Harsha Garu, and Principal Dr. Ramakant Mohanteji, and HOD H&S, and first year in charge Dr. Jyoti Shindeji, and Physical Director Pandari Garu, and Administrative Officer Mr. Varaprasadji, and Mr. Ramakrishnan Reddy ji, and if I have missed out any other name, but please forgive me. I thank all of you for offering me an opportunity to be with the students of SVIT, first year students. I heard that just 3 days ago your college started. You have been coming in the last 2-3 days. And you're getting an opportunity to hear about rekindling wisdom and reviving love. First of all, many people ask me, how did you study mechanical engineering and do your masters from IIT Bombay? And then I worked with Thermax for a few years as a machine design engineer with computer programming. And I did my project in finite element modeling and boundary element modeling in my masters. So people ask me, how did you switch over from that line into this line? This is a big curiosity for many people. Actually, I was interested in spirituality when I was a third class student. And again in 5th class, I was again very interested in Bhagavad Gita. I had a great desire to study, practice, and preach this message to the children and youth of India. That was my desire, even in my school days. This is my inner calling. I always had it. And as I grew up, my father told me, in my 7th standard, I had studied books of Ramakrishna and Vivekananda ji in my 7th standard. At that time, I wanted to leave home and go and join the organization, but my parents told me that you have to at least become an engineer or a doctor. First, you prove yourself in academics, then we will see. If you still have the inclination, we will see. So I completed my studies. When I graduated from IIT, I worked for 3-4 years. And with the blessing and permission of my mother and father only, I became a monk way back in 1994. I had 3 sisters. I got them all married and settled in life. After fulfilling my responsibilities, with the blessing of my parents, I joined. And spirituality is not only for monks like me, it is for every one of us sitting here. Do you think Arjuna was a monk like me? Was he a married man or a monk? Yeah, he was a married man. He had wives, he had children. And Bhagavad Gita was given to him, which goes to show that everybody in this world, every living being has to practice. So right at the outset, when I talk about rekindling wisdom, I will talk about the acronym G.I.T.A, Gita. If you know this G.I.T.A, these 4 statements which I am going to tell you, you will know the essence of Gita. Anybody else you meet in the world, you can share with them what Gita teaches about. Many of you may be knowing about Bhagavad Gita, but you might not have heard the essence of the Gita. I will tell you very briefly. The first letter G stands for God who is in control. If you see the world that we are living in, it's a very amazing world, isn't it? The clouds showers, the sun shines, the flowers blossom, the fruits ripen, the grains grow from the earth, the seasons change. All these wonderful changes are happening all around us, and none of it is controlled by us. It's something worthy to think about. Imagine you have a paper on the top of which you have some iron filings, and you take a magnet below and move it. Then all the iron filings will also move round and round, isn't it? Somebody who sees from the top will only see the iron filings moving, and they may not know there is a magnet behind. Similarly, all these movements are happening within this universe that we are living in. The sun is moving from east to west, seasons are changing, crops are growing, flowers are blooming, as I told you. So no change can happen without some pre-arrangement. Like when you go to airport, when you walk into the airport, as soon as you go to the airport door, the door opens, isn't it? You ask a child, how does the airport door open? The child may say that, you see, I have to go in, therefore the door is opening. Is it the answer? There is a pre-arrangement of the sensor. First time when I went to the airport, I wanted to wash my hands. I didn't find the knob. I asked the fellow, hey, where is the knob? How can I wash my hands? So he said, you don't need the knob. You just put your hand, water will come. And I said, how is it possible? Of course, I put my hand and water was coming. It appeared automatic. Is it automatic or a pre-arrangement? Tell me. It's a pre-arrangement. In this world also, everything is pre-arrangement. Because you are not doing it, I am not doing it. Somebody else must be doing it. Just like the magnet, when you move, all the iron filings are moving. Like a small kid was going with his mother to the marketplace. So he happened to see a toy, a puppet, moving hands up and down. So he asked his mother, Mom, look at the toy, how it's moving hands and legs. Is it moving on its own? Mother said, no, my dear, there is a puppeteer who is moving the fingers. Because of which the toy is moving the hands and legs. You may not see the hands, but there are hands which are moving it. In the same manner, the world we are living in is a very amazing world, which is not only showing all these things I told you, we are totally, utterly dependent on them. Can you live without sunlight? Can you live without rainwater? Can you live without grains? Can you live without fruits? Can you live without all these things which I told you now? And none of it is created by us. Even the most learned scientists of the modern times cannot create one grain of rice. They cannot create one mosquito. It's just not one. They cannot create one drop of water. Therefore, they are coming and begging you, please give blood donation. Because they cannot create one drop of blood also. Think about it. So we are seeing these things happening around us, and we are not the creator of any of these things, and we are totally dependent on these things. Therefore, without these things, we cannot survive. So, who is the operator of the cosmic machine? Now, some of you may say, I am an atheist, I don't believe in God. And there are others who are agnostics who say, maybe there is an energy beyond. There are different people having different opinions. There are few who may accept that there is surely a God who is a person who is beyond, who has created all these things and maintaining all these things. Not that he maintained long ago. Even now, it's being maintained. You will see that. Even grains are coming from the ground even now. Fruits are ripening even now. Photosynthesis is happening in the plants even now. There are 40 actions which happen in the green leaf by the influence of the sun. Even today it's happening. All these things, not that God did and went away. He's still even doing it. You can see it. And none of us are doing it. So therefore, even if somebody says there must be some energy or something, you see, behind energy there is an energetic. Imagine there is a stone coming flying through the window. As soon as you see it coming and hitting a TV screen, and it has broken the TV screen, what will you do? What's the first thing you will do? You will stick your neck out of the window. Who is that who flung this stone? Will you not ask this? That means somebody loaded the stone with energy and they threw it inside. That person is energetic, who supplied energy to the stone. So behind energy, there is always energetic. It's a very simple thing. Like you say, Shaktiman, like a weightlifter is lifting, huge amount of weights. So he has Shakti here. That Shakti is not hanging in the sky. Shakti is with a Shaktiman. So the Shakti is with Shaktiman. Energy is with energetic. So God is a supreme person who is behind this creation. Actually, I can tell you 12 different ways of proving God. But I am just telling you one. What I am telling you now is called Teleological Approach or Intelligent Design Approach. Then there is Henological Approach. There is Ontological Approach. Like we can go on talking those things, our whole class will get over, which I will not do now. I just told you only intelligent design. Because behind every wonderful intelligent design, there is always a designer. Behind any kind of architecture, there is a great architect behind. So this stands for G. There is a great operator of the cosmic machine whom we may not see with our eyes. You can call him Krishna, Rama, Allah, Jehovah. Different religions call him by different names. Just like you call the sun by Ravi or Dinakar, Bhaskar, Surya, Suraj. So many different names. But there is surely an operator behind the cosmic machine. That is G. And the second thing stands for I. I means what is I? I is yourself. Who am I? It's a very important question. In this world, there are two visible, perceivable things. One is called Jada, another one is called Chetan. Jada means dead matter. Chetan means conscious entities. Now, all of you sitting here, are you Jada or are you Chetan? You're Chetan. Now, these chairs who are sitting here, are they Jada or Chetan? They are Jada. We all clearly can understand difference between matter and spirit. There are prominent differences between Jada and Chetan. An aeroplane can stand in an airport. For a million years, it will not move. But one small pilot walks towards the plane, climbs into the cockpit, then the big plane takes off. Because matter is insentient and inert, it can only function when spirit touches it. Like these chairs will remain here for 10 years, they will not move unless one of you come and pick up the chair and you change its position like this. Now the position is changed because the spirit is acting on matter. So, when a spirit acts on matter, then only matter can move. This is one main difference. Another difference is, you will see that matter undergoes only one change, which is depreciation. Like if you leave this chair here for a million years, gradually it will crumble into powder and, mix with the sand. Whereas spirit, where there is spirit, you will find 6 changes. Like look at your own body. You were all small babies before, correct? Then the body grows, it produces some byproducts, like stool, urine, and also it produces babies and all that. And then it is maintained for some time, then it dwindles and dies. Anywhere there is life, you will find these 6 changes. Look at a tree, undergoes 6 changes. Look at a dog, undergoes 6 changes. Look at a human being, undergoes 6 changes. Look at a bird. Wherever there is life, that entity will undergo 6 changes. So, in the Gita, Lord Krishna tells us, your body is not you, the one which you see in the mirror. Your body is only like a car, and you are the driver of the car. You are the operator of the car. Like Shankara, in one of his Bhajagovindam, he says, Yavat pavano nivasati dehe, tavat pritchati kushalam gehe, gatavati vayu deha paye, bharyam bibhyati tasmin kaye, bhajagovindam, bhajagovindam, govindam bhaja mudhamate. You know what he says? As long as spirit is present in this body, people will come and ask you, how is your health? Are you fine? And everything. And you will also say, I'm fine and all that. But the moment the soul leaves the body, nobody will come to talk to body, and the body will be fed to the fire. He says, Bharyam bibhyati tasmin kaye. He says, even family members will become afraid of the dead body. They will dispose it within 5-6 hours before it starts stinking very badly. They'll feed it into the fire. The same body which they were embracing and kissing, now they'll put it in the fire now. That's the value of this body. Deva Sangitam apyanti krimi vidbhasma sangitam. The body ultimately becomes a krimi or a vishta or a ash. It becomes like that. So it's like a very simple to understand. Imagine you bring gulab jamun from market in a carry bag, and you keep the gulab jamun on the plate. Where does the carry bag go? Straight to dustbin. Because carry bag is only valuable as long as it carries gulab jamun. Once gulab jamun is out, it goes to dustbin. Same thing with our body. Our bodies are carriers of the soul. Once the soul is out, the body is fed to the fire. That's all. So therefore, the modern day man is giving so much importance to this body, which is simply a combination of flesh and bones. He doesn't know. You may be aware, 2019, some 3 students committed suicide in one of the IITs. Now, why do you think people commit suicide? The reason is they feel inferiority complex. They are into cutthroat competition. They have academic pressure. They have fear of the future. They want to impress others. When they can't do it, they commit suicide. So imagine if these boys who committed suicide understood that, academics is only a small part of life. It's not everything. You have life with your parents. You have time for entertainment. You have time for sports. You have time for other reading of other books. You have your family life also. So many different things are there in life. But these boys were so bogged down by this academic thought that if I don't succeed in academics, I will commit suicide. So they got such a pressure in their head and they committed suicide. I was just thinking in my leisure that Pandavas actually underwent far more difficulty than these students. If you see the Pandavas, their wife Draupadi was insulted. They were driven to the jungle. They were put in Varanavat for burning alive. And their kingdom was not given back. But they never thought of suicide at all. Because they were spiritually advanced. Therefore, spiritual advance means these are the first 2 things you learnt now. G and I. G for God and I for I. I means I am actually a spirit soul. I am not this body. I am not this material body. So, now 2 things are understood. Let us go to the third one. T. T stands for transmigration. Transmigration means the soul in one particular body is given multiple opportunities for evolving into a full-blown personality, beautiful personality. Every one of you sitting here, you are all divine personalities. You are beautiful personalities, but you are covered over by some bad acquired qualities. Like one day, a boy was walking in the street, and then he came into the classroom. As soon as he came into the classroom, everybody was plugging their nose and said, "Hey, why are you stinking?" They asked him. He said, "Am I stinking?" The problem was in his shoes. There was some dog which had passed stool. So his shoes picked up the stool, and when he walked in, everybody thought he is stinking. So then he went out and he put his chappal outside. And then he walked in. They said, "You are not stinking. Chappal is stinking." So the problem is with the chappal, not with him. Similarly, you all are divine, but you have become covered by a covering which is impure covering, which is currently stored in your mind. And what is that impurity? I'll tell you very soon. So that impure covering has to be cleansed. When it is completely 100% cleansed, you are fit to go to the higher plane, spiritual plane, where you are all perfect. Currently, we have come from a higher plane to a lower plane, where we are contaminated. Every religion talks about it. All over the world, you will see that there's a pure plane, there's an impure plane. Right now, we are in impure plane with a covering, impurity covering. Therefore, we are angry with one another. We are lusty, we are greedy, we are envious, we are proud. These are the impure qualities, acquired qualities. So these acquired qualities have to be removed. If we don't remove, we will all give trouble to each other. But when it is removed completely, you become 100% pure. Then you become a divine personality. And you will be most loved. You will be endearing personality. And your dealings, your own, that we say personal values, interpersonal values, social values, spiritual values, all these values will become awakened in your system once you become completely pure. So you transmigrate from one body to another to get repeated chances to bring out your full-blown divine personality. That's the purpose. Just like a small boy may be in a tricycle, then he uses a bicycle, then he uses a bike, then a car. He is changing the vehicles, but the boy is the same person. Like that, the Atma also changes. That's called transmigration. You are right. That's reincarnation, correct. You are right, yeah, that's true, yeah. So, in every book of Dharma, you will find that there is a spirit which survives beyond death. You ask any religious person, they will tell you that you are answerable to God at the time of leaving the body. So who is answering? Body is already kept in a coffin, or body is burnt to ashes. So who is answering? The spirit soul is answerable. So I told you three things now. G.I.T. Transmigration. So the transmigration gives you a chance to become a better person. You know exactly what happens at the time of death. This gross body lies down, but the soul covered by the mind, which carries those impurities. It's called Sugandhavasana, Durgandhavasana, Karma Vasanas. You carry it to the next body. And then there you again a little bit more purify. And then finally you're fully purified, 100%. So in this life I became 20%, then next life 21. Then I finished 60, then 61. Like that we go on. And the last one, A, is aim of life. Aim of life. Aim of life is to go from the impure plane to the pure plane, where we are everlastingly happy. Anandamaya abhyasat. Raso vai saha rasamhi evayam labdva anandi bhavati. When Vivekananda ji, 1892, when he went to Chicago, he called everybody as brothers and sisters. And everybody applauded that time in the West. Because why people applauded? There is a reason. When you come to the purest stage, you see the whole world as one family called Vasudha Yeva Kutumbakam. It's one family. So I told you about G for God and I for I. So you see that God is the father of everybody, and all of us Jivas are one family. So that is actually the right vision. Let us see how that vision comes. Let us see. Initially, the child knows only one person. Can you say who is that? Who is that one person child knows? Only the mother. And the child is saying, one man is coming to that lady and going, coming and going. The child is asking, who is this fellow? Then the mother says, this is your father. Then the child knows the father. Then he comes to know his brother, then sister. Then he thinks, my family is everything. And he thinks, within this compound wall is my house, and me and my family, we are very happy. They say, family means father and mother, I love you. That is Family. So they think, oh, my mother, my father, my brother, sister, this is my family. I am very happy. I love them. And I can have a problem with everybody else. So I may take all the garbage from here and throw it in the neighborhood compound. Because I don't care about others. But imagine a boy from this house gets married to the neighborhood house. Now will they throw the garbage there? They cannot, because they have become sambandhi now. They have become connected now. So they also become very dear to you. And then you start considering, my caste people are very dear to me. Those are born in my caste. If I am Brahmana, I will think all Brahmanas are dear. Everybody has a caste. Then you may think, my state people are very good. Earlier your Andhra Pradesh was one state. Now it has become Andhra Pradesh and Telangana now. Correct now? Now Telangana has become more dear now. Because we live in one place. So we may consider that particular area to be very dear to us, people living in that locality or people who speak that language. And then when you go to other parts of India, then you think, Mera Bharat Mahan. I like Bharata, whole India. Then when you go to America, London, Germany, Australia, different places, you meet all humans. You think everywhere people are good. There are gentlemanly people everywhere. Then you expand your consciousness. You love all humans. Still, one may cut a goat or one may cut a chicken and things like that. One may not love all creatures. Only when you love God, then you love all. So this is a very simple formula. Love God, love all. Very simple formula. So it's like a master switch. You put on one master switch, all lights are on, all fans are on, everything is on. So that's a way understanding of God is. So I was telling you, when he went, he was calling my dear brothers and sisters, he was calling everybody, clapped hands, because for the first time they felt very happy. Here is a person who is teaching us universal consciousness, considering everybody to be brothers and sisters. Actually, we all are related to everyone, because we see that here comes the point of real rekindling wisdom. Pandita Samadarshana. I'll tell you two definitions of Pandita. You know the word Pandita? Pandita means what? A learned person. So Chanakya says, Matravat paradareshu paradravyeshu loshtravat atmavat sarvabhuteshu yah pashyati sa panditaha. A pandita should do three things, he is saying. Matravat paradareshu is saying, other men's wives, you should consider them as your mother. He is saying. One should not, in Hindi they call it bura nazar, they say, you know that? One should not see with a bad eye at another woman who is another man's wife. Like Ravana was looking at Sita. That type of sight is condemned by Chanakya. Matravat paradareshu. See any woman as a mother other than your wife. That's the first thing. Second, he says, paradravyeshu loshtravat. Don't put your hand in the pocket of others and take their money. Sometimes friends take their friends to the canteen and empty their pockets. So he says, don't touch their money, he says. So what he says, other people's pocket should be seen like a garbage can, he says. Will you put your hand in a garbage can? So don't touch others' money, he says. Thirdly, he says, Atmavat sarvabhuteshu, he says. Treat others as you want to be treated. Like for example, how many of you sitting here, you want to be treated respectfully? Yes. Yeah, then you have to treat others respectfully. Give respect, get respect. Give affection, then get affection. If you throw rose-scented waters on others, then they will also throw rose-scented waters on you. If you throw H2S on others, they will throw H2S on you. If you throw gutter waters, they will throw gutter waters. So he says, Atmavat Sarvabhuti, you should treat others as you wish to be treated. If you do these three things, he says, you are a learned person. This Chanakya gives this definition. There is another definition Lord Krishna gives in Bhagavad Gita. What is Pandita? He says, Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Gavihastini Shunichaiva Shubhageja Pandita Samadarshina. He says, the Pandita is a person who sees all living beings equally, he says. For example, if he sees an elephant, he sees a dog, he is a dog's master, and he sees a learned teacher, Brahmana, he sees. In all the bodies, he sees only the same type of soul, he says. Why should we see like that? There is a reason. Say, for example, you're walking on the road, and you see an ant. Can you crush it? Just because you have a big body? Can you do that? You can't do that. Because every living being has the right to live. As much as you have the right to live, they also have the right to live. Geo, Jenedo. But unfortunately, people only have Geo SIM. Any of you sitting here, you have Jenedo SIM? Yeah. So that people have forgotten. Everybody thinks, Main Geo, tum maro. They think like that. Actually, Geo, Jenedo. That means every Jiva has the right to live because they're God's child. Because, like I can't crush an ant. Why? Because when for example, I'm a lorry truck driver. I am driving a truck. I see a Luna going. Can I hit the Luna? Just because Luna is small and lorry is big. Both in Luna and in lorry, the same type of driver is sitting. Correct? That is Pandita. Pandita sees that same Atma. One Atma is wearing a squirrel dress. One Atma is wearing a goat dress. One Atma is wearing a human dress. One Atma is wearing a bird dress. The bodies are all dresses. And the Atma, the spirit, is a child of God. And every child of God has a right to live. And that is actually the meaning of a Pandita, he says. So, this is actually very basic knowledge. When you come to college, all of his students, you study about, solids, like theory of machines, solid mechanics. You study about the solids. Then you study about the liquids in hydraulic machinery, all those things, fluid mechanics and all that. Then later on you study about the gases in turbo machinery and all that. Then you study about fire in fire engineering, heat and mass transfer and all those subjects. Then you study about the ether in acoustic physics. Then you study about the mind, intelligence, id, ego and all those things in psychology and psychiatry. And we don't go beyond this. This is called material science. Material science means you only study about matter. We have no knowledge of the spirit. And because of that, in this world, there are so many problems. You see, why are the Germans and Jews having problem? Because Germans think Jews are our enemies. Why are the blacks and whites having problem? The problem is because of people watching the superficial bodily coverings. Inside this bodily covering, there is spirit soul. They are not seeing that, which is one in quality in all the bodies. Every spirit is same in quality. Today we can be an Indian. Tomorrow we can be born in Pakistan. Tomorrow we can be born in America. Any other place. The spirit is same in quality. Anywhere. When it moves from one body to another. So therefore we should love all the children of God. So love God, love all. That is actually called the reviving love. Now, as all of your students, I am going to conclude my talk with 2-3 very important things for you to consider seriously, which will help you in your day-to-day life. Till now, whatever I have been telling you, these are very important also to know. But what I am going to tell you in conclusion is most important for you, and it will help you to become a better individual with a better personality, with a better person and interpersonal dealing with others if you follow these things. Like you see, proper behavior, when we talk about, it is especially about how you deal with your seniors, how you deal with equals, how you deal with your juniors. Let me give you an example. Take Yudhishthira Maharaj. Yudhishthira Maharaj had one senior who was a very tough nut fellow to handle. His name was Dhritarashtra. But he had a lot of respect for Dhritarashtra also. Although Dhritarashtra was father of Duryodhana, and he was very much aware of all the plots hatched by Duryodhana, and he was cooperating in those plots also. Still, Yudhishthira Maharaj respected him as an elder. That means our scriptures teach us to respect even people who are not of, proper standard, just because they are Vayovriddha, they are senior in age. For example, a daughter-in-law comes to her mother-in-law's place. Her mother-in-law may not be like her mother. Still, scriptures say that she should respect her. Just because she is elderly, she has more worldly wisdom. So if the daughter-in-law respects her, then she can have a peaceful relationship with the mother-in-law also. So in our life, we should have respect for the elders. That's the first one. And see, Yudhishthira Maharaj is dealing with the equals. With dealing with equal, he was always friendly. And see Yudhishthira's behavior with the juniors, with those who are younger to him, and also the praja, he dealt with them like a father dealing with children. Like that he dealt with. You will see that when you read Mahabharata. On the contrary, see the behavior of Duryodhana. Duryodhana was envying Yudhishthira when he saw Yudhishthira doing Rajasuya Yajna. When Duryodhana saw Bhima, he was envying Bhima also. He wanted to finish him off. He was even envying juniors. People who are like Draupadi is younger to him, but he wanted to disrobe her in the public assembly. So compare these two fellows, Yudhishthira's behavior, Duryodhana's behavior. So in our life, if you really want to be successful in life, remember this famous verse spoken by Narada. Gunadikan mudam lipset anukrosham gunadhamat maitrim samanadan vichen nata paira vibhuyate. He tells Dhruva Maharaj. Three things. Guna adikan, somebody is superior to you in qualities, what do you do? Go to them, ask them, can you please share with me? Imagine one of you is a topper here. Somebody else can come to a topper student and say, can you please share your notes with me? Can you please guide me how you crack the subject so well? Can you share your study methods? It's better to ask them like that instead of envying them, looking at them and fuming. How this fellow is getting first rank, I will pull him down or something. One shouldn't think like that. Similarly, those who are friends to you, he says, Maitrim Samana Danvichen. Be friendly with them, don't brag about yourself, he says. Don't brag about yourself to your friend. If you brag about yourself, the relationship will not be sweet. I'll tell you an example of rusting relationship and trusting relationship. Which one you want? Rusting or trusting? Yeah. So in the Mahabharata war, on one side Krishna Arjuna was there, on the other side Shalya and Karna were there. So Krishna Arjuna relationship was trusting, and Shalya and Karna was a rusting relationship. Why? And if I tell you one example, immediately you will catch it. Why it became rusting? Shalya wanted to give a suggestion to Karna. Karna, you are aiming at Arjuna. You are going to hit him with your Nagastra. Don't aim at the neck, aim at the chest because it may miss. So Karna asked him, who are you to advise me? Shut up your mouth. You are just my charioteer. I know what to do. So immediately the relationship became a rusting relationship. Shalya said, I am also king of Madras. In those days, Madras meant Tamil Nadu and Andhra together. He was South Indian king. He said, upon the request of Duryodhana, I am your charioteer. You are insulting me. I am walking out of the battle now. He walked away. So Karna lost his man because of rusting relationship. So did Karna deal with him respectfully? No. Therefore, he lost the opportunity to have him as a charioteer. On the other hand, on Krishna's side, what happened when the Nagastra went? It was about to take the neck of Arjuna. At that time, Krishna pushed the chariot 1 foot down. And then it took off the mukut of Arjuna. So Arjuna saw that mukut has fallen down, all the gems scattered on the ground. So he looked towards Krishna and said, hey, my dear Krishna, why didn't you ride the chariot properly? You are making people laugh at me. My mukut is fallen on the ground. Krishna said, you don't know. Your head was to be rolling on the ground. I pushed the chariot down 1 foot. Therefore, your life was saved, Arjun. He said, hearing that, Arjun became very humble and said, thank you for saving my life. I don't even know what's happening to me. It's all by your protection. I am able to fight the battle. So Krishna and Arjuna became more sweetly related after that. Arjuna is humble towards Krishna and Krishna is protected towards Arjuna. So relationship is rusting or trusting? Trusting. So in our life, we all want which one? Rusting or trusting? Yeah. So trusting means we have to deal with others with respect and affection, kindness, courtesy, friendliness, not brag about ourselves. And while dealing with juniors, he says, Anukrosham guna adamat. He says, while dealing with juniors, you should deal with them compassionately. Imagine if some student is not very capable in studies, you should give your notes and help them. Please take this book, please take this notes, or come to me, I'll help you, I'll teach you. That is compassion. Not that you laugh at them, and not that you make a joke out of them, isn't it? So this is good behavior. In the same manner, we also, one of the aspects of rekindling wisdom is also change of heart. If you don't have a change of heart, education is useless. The goal of education is to bring about a change of heart. For example, a cruel person should become a compassionate person. A selfish person should become a selfless person. A rigid person has to become a flexible person. This kind of change has to come in the people. So, like a person in his heart, if he has lust, that lust has to be transformed to love. Greed has to be transformed to satisfaction. Anger has to be transformed to calm and cool head. So the goal of education is change of heart. Without change of heart, if we remain the same, like when Srila Prabhupada, founder of our ISKCON society, went to America, he was traveling to various places. He was telling that he saw even doctorate students going to see naked dance shows. They were actually going to drink, going to smoke. They were going to see the naked shows. So Prabhupada said, what is the use of your doctorate education? It has not brought about a change of heart. You are still behaving, with your lower animalistic natures. So you all know, anybody can tell me what the difference between animal and human? What is the main difference? Yeah? I'll finish in 5 minutes now. I'm doing the last part. Yes, animals act by instinct. Humans act by thinking. That's one main difference. Humans means look before you leave. Vision first, action next. That is human. Animals means instinctive. They just immediately want pleasure. So human beings can actually think whether it is good for me, what is good, what is bad, what is right, what is wrong, what should I do, what I should not do. One can think. So we can think about long-term consequences as a human. Animals can't think like that. Animal will go to the same hand cart, eat the cauliflower, he'll get beating. Every day it will get beating. It will eat, get beating, go back. Again come, eat, get beating and go back. Animals cannot think. On the other hand, you will find if you go to somebody's house, they insult you, will you go again? You will never put your foot again there unless they seek forgiveness from you. So you will see that when we talk about habits, our bad habits, first of all, you have to detect it's a bad habit. If you eat tobacco, you get ulcers in the mouth. If you smoke cigarette, you get lung cancer in the lungs. If you drink liquor, you get liver cirrhosis. If you are having illicit connections with members of the opposite sex, then that leads to sexually transmitted diseases. All this you can see that you do a wrong thing, there is a punishment kept by divine arrangement. So if you want to avoid these punishments, then 4 principles we have to follow in our life. Please remember the simple formula, MATCH. What is it? Match. So I'll tell you this match and I'll conclude my talk, okay? M stands for mercy. A stands for austerity. Austerity means accepting certain inconveniences for long-term good. Just like you all are studying from the beginning of the semester so that your end-sem exams will be good. Correct, no? That is austerity. Other boys may be playing whole semester and last part of the semester they'll be crying. So austerity means accepting voluntarily some trouble for long-term good. And T means truthfulness. C means cleanliness. And H means holy name. So this is concluding thing I'm telling you. It's a take-home message for you. So how you can be merciful? By not injuring the other creatures unnecessarily. Like for example, when you kill a goat or a chicken, when you cut it, the animal tries to run away from you. That's called flight. When you catch it and try to kill it, it shows the teeth. Then it is called fight. It's called fight or flight reaction. So we also, when we eat it, we develop fight or flight response in our life also. We develop insecurity and fear, both, and violence we develop. So we don't unnecessarily, that's called mercy. Don't injure the other creatures unnecessarily. Secondly, A stands for austerity. Austerity means one should avoid smoking, drinking, drugs, all these things which are very harmful to your system. If you already there is so much pollution outside, why to take more smoke inside? Already there is so much pollution. Similarly, I already told you the bad effects of these things. So stop it completely. These bad habits. Don't ruin your body. Don't become unhealthy. Be healthy always. And thirdly, MA, T stands for truthfulness. Don't gamble, because by gambling you will get big money and then you will lose all money. And it will cause a lot of mental tension. Then you will lose money and all that. Don't do gambling. T. And C stands for cleanliness. Cleanliness means one should not be illicitly connected to a woman before marriage or after marriage. But you are allowed to marry. According to the scriptures, marriage is religious. It's allowed. One can marry a woman and beget children and live peacefully. But one should not be illicitly connected. A girl belongs to her father. Therefore, nobody can touch her without father's sanction. Therefore, no sex before marriage and sex outside marriage is prohibited, called illicit sex. These are the four things. And fifth one is called holy name. In every religion, the dharma, it teaches about invoking the presence of God. Like once I was in an airport. There was a flight was 2 hours late. So I went to the prayer room. So when I sat to sit with my mala, like I was chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So at the same time, I saw one Christian kneeling down and he was chanting Hail Mary. And there was a Muslim doing namaz, because they do namaz very properly 5 times a day. So he was doing namaz and he also had a rosary. He was also chanting with that. So every dharma teaches us that we should call upon God's name and take His help to give up our lower passions and bring up our sublime nature. As I told you, to go from a lower platform to a higher platform, that is very easily made possible by holy name. So this is Hajj. So no illicit sex, no meat eating, no gambling, no intoxication, and chanting the holy name. If you do, all good habits will come to you, all good behavior will come to you, good culture, good character, everything will come in your life. Therefore it is said, watch your thoughts, they can become words. Watch your words, they can become actions. Watch your actions, they can become habits. Watch your habits, and they can form your character. And watch your character, otherwise it will become your culture. So from thoughts to culture, as it gets transformed one after another, if you cultivate these good habits, then your culture will be a spiritual culture. You will bring out the angel in you instead of bringing out the animal in you. So, in essence, I spoke on 2 subjects, rekindling wisdom and reviving love. So, wisdom, as I told you, is to understand those G.I.T.A. God, I, transmigration, and aim of life. The aim of life is, as I told you, to cleanse the impurities which we have acquired in this world and go from the lower plane to the higher plane from where we have fallen into this position. That's actually the goal of life. So, one of your professors from the mechanical department, he was asking me, how did it all start? How did you join this movement? What is this movement? So I told him, Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, he's also from Bengal. His guru told him, all Indians are chasing after the Western world. So don't preach in India. He said, go to the Western world like America. And there, if you make Americans take Bhagavad Gita knowledge seriously, then Indians will also take seriously. He said, so according to his guru's order, when he was a 69 or 70-year-old man, he went to America in a cargo ship. On the way, he got a couple of heart attacks, but he didn't come back. He went to America and said, I will die in America giving this knowledge. So 12 years, he established 108 centers worldwide. 14 times he encircled the globe. So 1965 to 1977 was the period, 12 years. So that's how it started. Now there are more than 1,000 centers, and I belong to the Pune chapter. I live in Pune temple for the first 2 weeks, and 3rd week I come to Hyderabad. In ISKCON Abids in Hyderabad, there is a temple. Any of you come, many of your professors told me that they have been to the temple. You all are welcome. I stay there the 3rd week of every month. I am coming here, and I go to various colleges and schools and universities and companies. I go for sharing this knowledge. In my channel, if you go, there is one playlist called as Behavioral Science for Youth. There are more than 90 similar lectures there, which are all pertinent to the college youth. Time management, profession, how to balance with spirituality, and things like that. Like breaking past bad habits. All those things are there. It's called as Behavioral Science for Youth. So you can check it out at your leisure. You just put Radheshyam Das and go and check it out. And if you like it, you can go through it. If you wish to suggest me more topics, you are welcome to write any mail to me and I'll speak on other topics. One of my keen ambitions or passions is to go to the universities and help the students to become students of pure habits, pure lifestyle, good character. You should become respectful to your parents, respectful to teachers. You should become a perfect gentleman and a perfect ladies. And then, because India means Bha means Prakash, Rat means engaged. Bharat means those people who are engaged in wisdom. That is this country. So you should engage in wisdom and take this wisdom across the globe. And you have to be role models for the whole world. So with this humble request to all of you, I will conclude my talk, and I thank all the authorities of your college for giving us the opportunity. Thank you. See, generally I teach with many acronyms, generally. Why I do with acronyms? Because people remember the acronyms well. So, some of the acronyms I spoke in the lecture are very important. Therefore, I'm going to ask you a question based on that. So, G.I.T.A. Who remembers the 4 words I spoke on Gita? The summary of Gita in 4 words. All the 4. There is a hand up. Here, there's a hand up, please.
Hello, I'm Chanveer Singh from G God,
Yeah.
I,
Yes.
T Transmigration, A aim.
Oh, very good. All of you give applause. Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Which branch here?
So, yes, you all saw it's a very beautiful, simple to remember acronym. So, if you remember this one acronym, you remember the summary of Gita in this. And one of the things that these 4 things doesn't cover is God and I. What's the relationship? There's a loving relationship. Just like you all have a loving relationship with your parents. Similarly, we also have a loving relationship with God. So that I elaborated little later. I told you, love God, love all. I told you. One very important thing about love in this world is, so many people talk about love novels, love movies, love stories, love affairs, everything. But you find nobody is satisfied. You find ultimately. The reason is, in this world, what goes on in the name of love is actually lust. For example, a pakoda bhaji selling man in the train, you find it's very fragrant. It's very fragrant when you are purchasing it. But when you eat it, you get a stomachache because he's doing it for business. He's not doing it for, nourishing your health or something. Similarly, you find the receptionist smile and air hostess smile. Many people actually, salesmen also smile at you because the goal of their smile is to, earn some money from you. Even the waiter in a hotel may smile at you. So, therefore, when you are talking about love, it's actually genuine love. One of the places that you seek genuine love is from your mother, generally speaking. You are very confident that your mother ultimately loves you and she doesn't want anything from you in return. Unconditionally, she loves you. But that love of the mother and father doesn't remain with us for all time. After 70, 80 years, they will pass away. And then we go to a new situation, next life and third life, fourth life. But if you want eternal love, that's where this point comes. We have to awaken our love for God, because God is eternal, I am eternal, and the Sambandha is also eternal. Therefore, this first G and I, God and I, that relationship is a very important thing. Who remembers the match one? M-A-T-C-H. Here is a hand up. Please give it. You remember all the 5? M-A-T-C-H? Yeah.
I'm Sriman from AIML branch.
M for?
AIML branch. I'm Sriman.
What is it? Okay.
M for mercy.
M for mercy.
A for austerity.
Yes.
T for truthfulness.
Yes.
C for cleanliness.
Yes.
H for holy name.
Very good. All of you give applause. Thank
Sir,
you.
and I have a question for you, sir.
Yeah.
Just now you have said that by feeling our parents' love, we can sense that. But how can we believe in God? And there is no presence.
No, that is the reason in the beginning I spoke to you. The clouds shower, the flowers bloom, the fruits ripe, the grains are growing, seasons are changing. None of it we are doing. But all these movements indicate that there is an operator of the cosmic machine who is doing it. Now somebody is doing it. Are you doing it? Am I doing it? Is anybody doing it here? Somebody is doing it. Huh? You will see this program is organized by somebody or it happened by chance. What do you think? Organized by somebody. So nothing happens by chance. Everything is organized by somebody. So in this world also your food is organized for you. Correct? Water is organized for you. Sunlight is arranged for you. So somebody is arranging it. And just like you all are students studying here, say, is your father not paying the college fee? The father is arranging for your food and accommodation. Correct? Somebody is arranging it. Therefore, you are able to study in SVIT peacefully. In the same manner, in this world, for you to live, somebody is arranging everything. And that somebody, we are calling it as God. Now, you may say that if I cannot know Him, how can I love Him? Therefore, the manual for this world becomes important. What is that manual? Like you get a cooker. In a cooker manual, it is mentioned, whenever there is a third whistle, you should stop it. Otherwise, the cooker will explode. That you read from the manual. Similarly, the manual for this world is like Bhagavad Gita, Bible, Quran. These are scriptures are there. So you have to take out little time, every day 1 or 2 pages. If you read, then gradually you come to understand how that God is operating this world. And actually, if you're going in the street, you see a signal. You stop your car. And when there is a green signal, you move your car, correct? No? So our traffic is controlled by a traffic policeman. And the traffic policeman is under the government. Similarly, you will find under the Prime Minister. Similarly, in this world also, there are many laws controlling the world. Correct, no? But those laws are all under the Supreme One Supreme God, whom we don't know right now. But it is not impossible to know Him. There's a method to know Him. First start with the scriptures, meet the saintly people, and gradually we come to understand it. Therefore, in the Bhagavad Gita, if you read today, it is beyond the scope of this class to elaborately talk on the subject, so I didn't speak. I gave a clue. But it is possible to understand. Because, your mother and father's love is also coming from Him only. He has only sent your parents to take care of you. But imagine, He is giving you temporary mother and father now. But if you accept the global mother and father, then you don't change at all. This is local mother, father. Correct, no? So every life we keep changing local mother, father. But you can understand more. We have training programs beyond this. Actually, they'll be announcing an 8-session course. 8-session course, everything will become clear. Thank you. But thank you for remembering all the 5 points. So, yeah, that was good. Yeah. So both the acronyms they remembered. And I was telling you about behavior. Anybody knows? I was giving 2 examples of good behavior and bad behavior. Who knows? What are the 2 examples I gave for someone with good behavior, someone with bad behavior? Anybody? You can raise the hand, mic will come to you.
Sir,
Where is the hand up?
left side.
Yeah, yes.
Sir, how to overcome from impurities to purity?
You can keep the mic like this.
How to overcome from impurities to purity, sir?
How to overcome from? You can remove the mask and speak and then, yeah, yes.
How to overcome from impurities to purity?
Very good. Thank you. So, impure platform to pure platform, how we come. Correct,
Yes,
no?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, correct. Therefore, I told you this match formula. 4 + 1, 5. It is said, Yan namashruti matrena puman bhavati nirmalaha. And the Sanskrit verse says that. Namashruti means hearing the holy name. That actually cleanses our mind and heart of the impurities. It is said. There are many, many verses. I am just telling you one verse. Our heart is like a mirror which is covered with dust. If you take a wet cloth and wipe it, then it will become clean. Like that, when you do Namashruti, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. It's a prayer actually. All the legends teach about a prayer. Oh my Lord, please forgive me for my mistakes. Repenting in front of you, accept me as your will, take me to your abode, keep me with you, let me be pure, let me not others, let me not injure other living beings, they are all your children, let me conduct myself properly. I am originally pure, now I have become covered over by impurity, I want to again become pure. This is the meaning of the prayer. By actually offering a prayer regularly like this, in whatever dharma you belong to, accordingly you chant the mantra, and you chant the God's name, and then gradually you get purified. And I am not telling you stories, there is a practical proof for this. Like when Srila Prabhupada went to America, In America, he met the hippies in Bowery. Huh? These hippies were into all kinds of bad habits. They were drinking, they were smoking, they were into drugs, and each hippie had a dozen girlfriends. Can you imagine? Huh? That's the way they were living. And when Prabhupada went in between them, he chanted this Hare Krishna and he made the hippies into happies, we say. Huh? So the hippies completely gave up all bad habits. Those who were eating cow flesh, and they actually started eating vegetarian food. Those who were drinking liquor, now they are drinking milk. Huh? How did they have a transformation like that? I told you about heart transformation, you remember? In the part of my talk, a cruel person should become compassionate person. Selfish person should become selfless person. So that change came in the hippies by chanting this, Hare Krishna. And that is actually the secret to bring about the change. And you just see for 1 year period, if any of you want to give a try, chant this Hare Krishna. One round takes you 10 minutes only. 10 minutes you chant. For 1 year you chant and see whether this change in habits is coming or not. Okay?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Yeah, please give the mic to him.
Sir, how humans become enlightened?
Please,
Enlightened.
like this, you hold it like this.
How humans become enlightened, sir? Enlightened.
How a man becomes enlightened?
Yeah, Buddhas, Gautam Buddhas,
Ah,
Vivekanandas. How
Yeah,
they
yeah.
become?
Yeah. So he's asking, how do we become enlightened? Good question. You see, if you take a magnifying glass and take all the diffused sun rays into it and then put it at a focal point, then you can burn a paper or cotton. Correct, no? But if you don't focus it on a focal point, you will not be able to burn. Even if you keep a paper on the top of the roof of your house, even the noon sunlight cannot burn it. But if you take the diffused rays and focus it at one focal point, then you can burn it. In the same manner, our mind right now is in a very diffused condition. It is having hundreds of thoughts. I want to do this, I want to do that, so many things. Mind is very disturbed. Worries of the past, fears of the future, illusions of the present. Mind is in a very confused state. So therefore we sit down and hear the lecture, we chant the holy name and calm the mind and concentrate. Try to learn to do one thing at a time. That's called as chanting we do. Like when I chant, we think only about chanting. When you play while you play. Chant while you chant. Eat while you eat. Sleep while you sleep. But what we generally do, all day while playing, all day we play, we don't study. And the night when you lie down, you think, I didn't study at all today. So you don't get the sleep. Sleeping time, you worry about studying. Studying time, we sleep. So we should not mix up the activities. Do one thing at a time with full concentration. And that concentration is improved when you chant. Like I've been chanting last 30 years. When I've been doing like this chanting gradually brings you to the focal point. And in that focal point, it will burn away the impurities in the heart. Then it will give you full concentration. Focus it gives you. Focus means you withdraw the mind from external world and focus it at one point and don't let the mind go out again. And these three things should be done. Then with such focus and attention, you study the scriptures. You hear the scriptures. For example, you do 10 minutes every day. Once in a week, you hear 1 hour lecture like this, what you heard today. How many of you felt what I spoke today was relevant and easy to understand? Raise your hand. Good now. Almost I am finding 80-90%. Thank you. Yeah, how many of you felt, this fellow is talking all hi-fi things. He's just going boulders over my head. Anybody felt like that? Oh, there is nobody like that. You see? So if you hear once in a week, just one lecture like this, from our Gita and books like that, then hearing Shravanam and chanting Smaranam, these two things are enough. You'll become enlightened. I can tell you just 2 to 3 years of this practice will bring you to a very stable state of clarity of why this world exists, why are we existing, what I should do, what I should not do. Everything becomes clear. All right? Thank you. So thank you for your brilliant... there's one hand up there. Yeah, yes.
Sir, I have a question, sir.
Yeah.
This may come out awkward to many, but I just want to put it out there, sir.
You can keep it like this.
This may come out awkward to many, sir, but I just want to put it out there. Because me asking you this question and you giving an answer to this question, if it brings a change in at least one person, sir, it's going to be a lot to me and you. I guess it's to you also, sir. Sir, you brought up a topic about lust and love, sir. And age group which I am in, they are exposed to so many lusts, sir, in this world because of social media and stuff, sir. So, and the biggest setback about this is, sir, they think that it's okay to yield to that lust, sir. But it's not. I want you to at least tell something about this, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Understood, yeah. What's your good name?
John, sir.
See, John is making a very important point. He's saying due to social media, there is so much bombardment of lusty things going on in social media, which is actually polluting the minds of the modern day youth. And because of this pollution, many youth are becoming weak in their academics also. They are even becoming weak in their personalities also. So he's asking, how can such a person who is absorbed in lust could be transformed into a person whose heart is full of love? That's a good question. Yeah. So what we tell people generally when you are dealing with lust, for overcoming lust, actually lust is like mental AIDS, we can say. Mental AIDS means, like AIDS, you know, it makes you so low in your immunity that it completely takes over the body, eats through the body, correct, no? Similarly, the lust also takes away your mind, takes away your intelligence, takes away your senses. It ruins your life completely. It spoils your good health. It swallows your mind. Your focus on academics is ruined completely. So number one, I will tell all of you students that you have to understand the consequences of lust. If you are not aware of the consequences, bad consequences lust produces, we are likely to flow in that direction. And we are likely to get ruined. So some amount of healthy fear is good. Healthy fear is good. I don't say if you should fear everything. Healthy fear is good. For example, if there is a wire, electric wire, I should not put my foot on that. I may get a shock. Like that, lust also we should have fear for lust. For example, in my lecture I told you, you should treat all women as mother except one's own wife. Correct? You all remember that? I told this. But now if you see women as object of and then we get degraded like dogs, like two-legged animals. Dogs have 4 legs and we have 2 legs. We can become two-legged animals. So the first thing I told you is, you understand the bad consequences of lust. Second thing I'm telling you is, understand the rules of God. Every religion says that woman should be respected. Woman should not be exploited. So follow that rule. Thirdly, I told you that marriage is not prohibited in scripture. Everybody is allowed to marry. So one should wait till the age of marriage and learn to respect all women with eyes of respect. That means some amount of discipline is required. Some amount of self-restraint is required. You know, Hanuman, when he went to Lanka for searching for Sita, in Ravana's palace, he saw hundreds of beautiful women. They were all celestial women. But his heart never harbored on enjoying even one of them because he was fixed in the Lord's mission. He knew that I have come to search Sita. I have not come here to take one beautiful woman and go away. He was very clear. Therefore, he did not harbor anything bad. Similarly, every one of us should know that if I am going to indulge now, my academics will be finished, my future is very bleak. But if I want my future to be bright, I should be a man of character. I should be a woman of character. So I told you, think of the consequences, future consequences. And second thing, think of the religion. Go to your religious book. Go to Quran or Bible or Bhagavad Gita or any scripture. You will see that what they say. You follow the God's word. And thirdly, from tempting environment. This is another thing. For example, line under which you should not cross. For example, boys and girls in education, like your college is a co-ed college, there is no problem in co-education as long as boys and girls have mutual respect and they are obedient to the teachers. There is no problem. But if the boys and girls are going to cross certain limit of privacy, that is where they indulge loosely and there will be degradation. So we should know the limit. What is the limit? We should not. We begin handshake and end in abortion. So one should not cross that. One should know that. And not only that, your parents are also expecting that you will marry according to, based on their blessings. How many of you feel that your parents expect that you will marry with their blessings later? Of course. You agree, correct, no? Will your parents want you to say that I found my partner myself? Correct? Of course, you can find your partner, but you have to take blessing of parents also. Permission of parents also. So think about those things. Think about your parents. Think about God's law. Think about the consequences of your academics. What is going to happen to you? And also think about your purity and character. Actually, as I told you in my talk, every girl belongs to her father before marriage. And after marriage, she belongs to her husband. And if husband takes sannyas later on after 60 or 70, then she is protected by her son. A woman is never alone. She is always protected by a man. So nobody has the right to touch a woman without sanction from her protector. Is that clear to everybody? So I used to tell boys in our gatherings that if you want to, behave improperly with a woman, you cannot do that without the sanction of her protector. Otherwise, you are illegal in your behavior. So we have to think about these things. See, we may think, but when you go very close, then we may not remember, we become foolish like animals. Therefore, the line is made. One should know the limit beyond which one should not go close to opposite sex. Now let us talk about sitting with the computer pornography nowadays. India has been numbered as rank 1 for watching pornography in the entire world. You know the reason? You can go to the Google search, you will find out. India is number 1. What a shameful thing it is. India is supposed to be a spiritual land, giving spiritual wisdom to the whole world. But recent reports say that India is watching pornography the most. So the more we watch, we are putting garbage in our head. So garbage in, garbage out. Good in, good out. So we should think, our mind is like a microprocessor. If whatever you type in microprocessor or servo motors will move. My hands and legs are like servo motors. Whatever I process here, if I put garbage inside, then I am going to behave improperly. If I put pure things inside, I'll behave properly. Like if I am hearing Bhagavad Gita, then I will want to chant God's names. I'll go to the temple, I'll bow down to God and all that. If I am putting dirty things inside by watching pornography, then animal within me will come out. So we all have an angel within us and we have an animal within us. Which one do you want to bring out? Angel. So if you have to bring out angel, then accordingly you have to give the inputs. And whatever inputs you give, output will be based on the input. Think about these things. And also when you are attending spiritual classes, like we have a course which they will launch at the end of the session, 8-session course. When you attend this course, actually the more spiritual wisdom becomes, these things will automatically happen. Lust to love transformation will very easily happen. Like, I told you, I started practicing in 1991. I have seen thousands of students coming out of our courses. After they undergo the course, their outlook to the world changes. They see the whole world as God's creation. They see it as maintained by God. They see all the women as protected by their parents. They see them as mothers. So even they won't harm the animals. So our outlook has to be changed. The paradigm shift has to happen. When the paradigm shift happens, then the lust can be transformed into love. And it is quite possible. And I have seen with my own eyes, boys just changing within 1 year period. I have seen. So I can show you all over the country, we have 10,000 students who are practicing what we are teaching. And they are all in their professions. They are not monks like us. Monks are only a handful. Majority are married and they have children and they are all over the world. It is quite easy to practice. Just as all of you understood what I spoke to you today, in the same manner, if you attend these classes, within a year you can see a big change of heart. All right? Thank you. I have taken considerable time for question and answers.
Thank you very much for the illuminating session, sir. This is indeed a very therapeutic speech by Prabhuji, which shows remedies for all the ailments that we come across in the society presently. Right? So, my dear students, all of you are majors, right? You are all 18 plus. So whatever you speak, you are responsible for that. Whatever actions you do, you are totally responsible for that. So the onus is completely on you, remember. Right? So at this juncture, many a time you will be in a confusion. how to be, what is to be done, what not to do, that confusion arises many a time. So at this juncture, by following the preachings of Guruji, you get a clarity in the mind. What is to be discarded, and what are the things to be prioritized, you get to know. Okay? So make sure that you develop your personality. So, when I say personality, it is not growing vertically or horizontally, right? So personality development means growing at the heart. So the ultimate goal of education is change at heart, Prabhuji said. So I hope that all of you follow that, remember the words of Prabhuji and implement them, and you will definitely get the success in life. Thank you. Now I request our principal sir to come onto the stage and felicitate Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. So the students are very good students. They were very calm and silent all through the lecture. Nobody made any whistle. The lecture.
Give him a big round of applause, please. Now I request my colleague Lalita madam to offer the vote of thanks.
Good afternoon, one and all. Now I take this opportunity to thank His Grace Shri Radheshyam Das Prabhuji, along with our respected principal sir, our HOD madam, and all the dear students who have come to start their life, a fresh life. It was such a wonderful and inspirational speech given by sir. And I hope at least some of you, and if possible all of you, to take at least a few points from what he has shared with us today to go ahead in life, because that makes a lot of difference. That makes a lot of difference in the way you go ahead in your life. As sir very much told us, that you will only emit what you take in. It's not that you take in oxygen and you breathe out carbon dioxide. You will definitely take in good, only then you will be able to give out good from your side. And as he also told us that if you expect respect, you ought to first learn to give respect. Yes or no? So in the same way, if you learn to give respect only, you can expect respect. If you learn to be good only, you can do good to either yourself or to anybody else. So I even take this opportunity to thank Shri Venugopal Krishna Prabhuji, a dental doctor from Care Hospitals, Shri Taran Mohan Prabhuji, who works for Oracle Atlanta in the USA, Shri Nagaraj Das Prabhuji, Shri Purna Brahma Das ji, also for having shared their valuable time for the students of SVIT. And if at least some of you can take 1 point, then it's fine. If all of you can take all the points, then the reason for his discourse is achieved here. All the best to all the students who are here to start their life afresh. Thank you once again.